This episode of Rally Caps is sponsored by MusicBed. Stick around to the break to hear how we are partnered with them on this show and why you're hearing the song that you're hearing right now. It's a good one. It's a good one.
Okay, I'm gonna count you down.
Here we go.
3, 2, 1.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Rally Caps, a podcast with a creative entrepreneur building a business for the long haul.
Today we have two super special guests hailing from Chicago, our hometown, with thousands of followers on IG, absolute king and queen of Instagram stories and reels. Met 4 years ago, Four years ago, went on their first trip together 1 month into dating in Sedona, run 2 wildly successful businesses, have a handful of associate photographers, got married this year and have the sickest wedding film. Now adding real estate agent to the list, they can dance like no one's business and nurture 2 absolutely gorgeous pups.
Is that all correct, guys?
Damn, I'm about to tear up from that.
Hey
damn,
everybody,
okay.
It's us.
Yeah, hi.
Wow, that was a great intro. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's all true.
It's true.
It's all true.
Yeah.
It's definitely true.
It's kind of weird when you lay it all out like that.
King and queen of Instagram.
Yeah, that felt kind of cool.
I don't feel like
That's a new
that,
flex
but
I'm
thank you.
I'm gonna put that on my LinkedIn.
Direct quote from the podcast.
Yeah,
like,
straight
hey,
up.
someone else said it, not me.
Quote.
Hey, Rally Caps.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Thanks for being here.
Yeah.
It's
Thanks
really
for having
cool.
us.
Well, it's always super fun to sit down with people like we have personal relationships with who are also like masters at their craft. So
Whoa.
You're nothing short of that, by the way, with both the things that you do. Before we jump into all the technical nitty gritty, obviously we'd love to hear some more intro.
Sure.
Outside of all of the truth bombs we just dropped on the
You
audience.
go first.
Wowza woo. Okay, cool. Well, hey guys, what's up? My name is Ben Ramos. I am currently calling myself a wedding photographer based in Chicago. And I started the business back in 2014 when I was in college at the University of Nebraska in Lincoln, Nebraska. And since then, fast forward, moved back to Chicago in 2016. Started, just marketing myself here. Hitting up old people from high school and be like, hey, remember me? Let me take your picture. Yeah, totally. And it just kind of snowballed into me having to grow and add on associates. I met my lovely wife, Emily.
I'm just realizing right now I never said your names in that intro.
Oh, hey, what's up? Yeah, no, it's all good. It's
Yeah,
all
you said
good.
your name.
I said mine, so that's good. I met Em in 2017. Brought her on 6 months into dating.
Yeah,
Heyo.
real.
Wow.
Talk about everyone's like, that's kind of risky.
Yeah,
I'm
wow.
like, no, it's not.
No, it's not.
I was like,
I
I
love
knew,
her.
Especially
like,
because we were strangers. Like we met on Tinder, so we
Yeah.
were complete strangers.
yeah, actually, believe it or not, we had 0 mutual friends.
0.
Like, like normally, like you might know, like if you meet somebody, you
Yeah.
might know somebody who knows them.
Because we didn't grow up that far away from each other distance-wise,
Yeah.
so it's kind of
Like,
crazy.
like random people that maybe went to like, community college with
Or
you
whatever.
or like,
Sure.
or maybe like met me at a wedding or something, like
Yeah.
nothing. No ties at all.
Wild.
Yeah. We had completely 2 different worlds that just
Yeah.
collided. Yeah. So hired her on kind of like, originally my thought was like as like an assistant.
Yeah.
But clearly as you've watched unfold, she's been so much more than that.
And what were you doing before?
Whew. Okay. Well, I started my working career at a chiropractic office as a receptionist, which turned into me pretty much managing the whole front office by the age of 18.
Oh my goodness.
While being in school full time, and I was also nannying, and then I was also doing small marketing stuff for a family friend's electric company. So I drew their logo, and I was doing like their MailChimp and like all that stuff.
Which that logo still floats around the city
Yes,
today.
it's
Just
all
saying,
over
just saying.
their vans and stuff. So keep out a look
Emoji
for
girl, she's the
for
bomb.
Penco,
Yeah, it's
Penco
fine.
Electric. Shout out to Paul.
Hey, Paul, we love you, buddy.
So yeah, I was kind of like dabbling in all this stuff. I was actually in school originally to be an ultrasound technician, which I learned a lot through that schooling and stuff. I love anatomy and physiology and stuff, and that was really cool. And then it's a very competitive program. They take like 15 people out of like 500 that apply every year because they only take as many spots as there is for hospital settings and stuff like that. So anyways, I didn't get in. So I was at the chiropractic office and I ended up falling into massage therapy, which I have a passion for, but I don't do anymore. But I learned a lot with that. I worked at a handful of different chiropractic offices. I also ran my own business on the side for massage, and I dived into oncology massage, so specifically for cancer patients. So that was just like so rewarding. I loved it so much. And then COVID hit and I lost my job, which was like the dream job. The clients didn't have to pay for anything and I got paid very well for my services. So unfortunately I lost that job. They did want me to come back once things cleared, but at that point I was really just trying to focus on our companies, and Ben wanted to make this transition into real estate and everything. So and then also during COVID we started our business coaching company, so that also took up a lot of time too, and I just have more fun doing this, while massage was like a passion and like great and all, but didn't pay the bills as well, and also it did take up a lot of energy, and it was heavy to come home from that every day. So I was just having more fun doing stuff for our companies and stuff like that. So that's where we're at now.
Yeah.
Hot dang.
Yeah, it's been a ride, man. It's been great, but honestly, the only thing that really could have gotten us here is just like us together.
Yeah.
Like there's no other combination that would have worked.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd be where I am without you, 100%.
Thanks, Bob.
Yeah, no problem. It's true. It's super true.
That was echoed a lot on your wedding day. It was like people saying that sentiment, just like even Brett said, she's like exactly what you needed.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, brought me down to earth. Like, not that I was like anything negative, but just like I was really just having a hard time finding myself and like finding my own voice and stuff. And you kind of showed me the way in lots of different ways.
Thanks,
and it's
Bob.
been incredible. So, yeah.
Okay, gonna tear up again?
Cry.
Second
Don't
time.
cry. Don't cry. Everything's fine.
We are such criers. I mean, you know that because you're with us for our wedding and everything.
love it.
We
Love it.
All up in the feels. Just like leaning into the stuff that matters,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like stuff that matters.
Good stuff.
You matter.
Good stuff.
A lot of people in the creative field, I think, are really interested in the dynamic of working with a spouse and working with a partner, and it's cool to see good, healthy experiences of that, and seeing couples that like actually care for each other in the process, and making sure that you guys are okay in the process, and not being afraid to like see how the personal life and the business life kind of intermesh.
Yeah.
But also, just how cool it can be to lean on one another in that process, and it's not possible for everybody. Like,
No, it's super not.
when I had my wife's second shooting, for me, it was just not good.
Yeah.
We shot a wedding in Hawaii, and like we both had this expectation of this trip being awesome. We had former clients at the wedding as well, and my wife just like wanted to chat with them the whole time, and I'm like, we're actually working.
Yeah,
you gotta
right.
help me here,
Yeah.
And we got back to the hotel that night, or maybe the next day, and she was just like, I don't know what it is. It just feels like in this process, it feels like you don't want me. And I was like, that was the line I heard, and I was like, all right, we're done.
Yeah.
Bye.
Oh my
we
God.
do not
Yeah.
need to work together anymore.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
totally fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, we definitely kind of tried that too. Like you second shot with me in 2018.
Yeah, I feel like that's so different, like physically being there, providing the service. Like I do so much more back end stuff, and I
Yeah.
do the stuff behind the curtain, and that's kind of how I like it. I also, part of that was like, I also don't have a passion for weddings necessarily, and I don't have a passion for providing that specific service, so that wasn't there. And then that's a much different experience than like of where our dynamic has mostly been.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
But even in the capacity that the two of you work in now, were there any growing pains in the beginning as you kind of just learned how to be in business together?
Yes.
Consultation for Steven. They're thinking about.
Oh, is this your next move?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Potentially.
Laura has more or less been my go-to second shooter for the past 3 years already.
Yeah.
But
Got it.
She's doing a lot more now, and we're trying to treat it like a family business.
Cool.
So-
Love it.
That's incredible. Yeah, I mean, there definitely were some growing pains. I mean, there was a lot of, this business until she came here was my baby. It's all I had.
Yeah.
And it was, even though I trusted her, I loved her with everything I had. It's less like, I still like don't trust you to treat it the way I treat it, you know, and like so having to let go of certain tasks and stuff that like I know I wasn't even that great at, but I just wanted that control, you know, and just wanted to like have the last word or have the last, you know, idea about it and stuff. So for example, website. I know I have a vision always of like what I want a website to look like and like how it should feel, how it should flow, that kind of stuff. But am I good at it? No. Do I make a bunch of money because I make the website? No. But who does? You do. And she's incredible at it. She's so good. She knows exactly how things should flow, how it should sound, what should be where, like, and that's like pretty much we had to like kind of unpack where our real strengths were within business.
Yeah. And I think that also just like our personalities, like Ben is an amazing boss, but he doesn't like being a boss. Like he doesn't like, you know, the harder parts of like dishing out tasks and things like that and dealing with any friction and stuff. And I'm comfortable doing that.
Enneagram 2 fan. Enneagram 2. Actually, I think now I'm a 3-wing 2, if you're into that.
I don't know what any is.
That's what I am.
Yeah. But like really leaning into I was a real 2 when I met you.
Yeah.
Real 2.
So he wasn't dishing out any tasks to me. I just would initiate things. I'm like, hey, this would be cool for the business. Let's try doing this. Hey, this is a good idea to start marketing ourselves this way, or this should be on the website, or X, Y, and Z. And I think I did an okay job of kind of presenting things to you and making sure that you felt like you still had your hands in it and like got to make a decision, at least for like that first year. But yeah, there was definitely things in the beginning where like the way he did certain things, like I just couldn't even fathom. And then like I had to learn like, oh wait, that does work. And like, you know, we should continue to do that because it, you know, benefits our company and everything.
For example, just a good example.
Go ahead. You can say it.
Emails. Client communication, like, you know, you hire an assistant, you're like, okay, I want you to do all the emails, I want you to do all the things, all the scheduling, blah, 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 blah. No, that's where I thrive.
Yeah.
And then like, for me, like I would literally sometimes cringe, even though because it's like, okay, do you answer an email as Emily or do you answer it as
and then I have to
Ben?
explain who I am, and then people might get confused.
Yeah, and people are like,
and then,
who's that? Who is she? Like,
what?
And
especially when I'm 6 months into dating this guy.
Yeah, oh my God.
I'm like, where's my place?
Yeah, no kidding. So like that. Like after like 2 months, I was like, that's it. That's enough.
Yeah,
I'm like, stop it. Stop everything. That's my job. I'm going to do that because that's honestly like, I will literally book people because of like 2 emails.
Totally.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like just because of the way I like connect with them
You get
or
them on the phone, game over.
straight up. I'm like, bye.
Yeah.
Got
So
it.
we figured out really fast that it isn't like cookie cutter job, like bullet points, what my duties were, but like, it was like, okay, what do you enjoy doing in the business and what do I enjoy doing in the business, and where are our strengths and how can we play it? And that's how everything really started to fall into place. And I mean, honestly, at least in the last like year and a half, I feel like we haven't really had any hiccups as far as our businesses go. Like as far as, you know, like if there's any hiccups, it's, you know, a relationship situation. I really can't think of any scenarios where we've had an argument about the businesses in the last couple of years.
Like we've really like settled into like our own roles within all the businesses and like really just leaning into what our strengths are again.
A lot of communication.
And just communication, just huge.
We're with each other all the time.
Yeah, literally.
We're like together almost 24/7.
I'm literally home 6 days a week. She's home 7 days a week.
Yeah.
And we are running these businesses out of our loft office upstairs in our second level.
Yeah.
And we're just chilling with our pups. And like, you know, we get work done when we can. Like, you know, for example, I am an early riser. So I get up with the dogs super early and like, you know, take them, you know, feed them, take them on a walk and stuff while she's still sleeping because she likes to sleep in. So then she gets up around like 9. I'm up at like 6:30. So like those 2.5 hours, I know I can't really edit or anything. I have to do emails because that's all I can give my attention to.
Yeah.
And then like she gets up and then all of a sudden she's like, you know, by like 11 o'clock, things are rolling for her and I can just kind of like sit back and like do stuff that I couldn't do with the dogs and like she can watch. It's just like we now just have like this perfect ebb and flow of like how things flow and work. And it's taken some time. I mean, we've had to be with each other a lot, and a lot of people that spend this much time together don't make it.
Especially through COVID.
Yeah, I mean, you know, people, you really start to see it. I mean, people, especially people that go to work, you know, 9 to 5s and only see their spouse for like a few hours a day. Like that was never really us. So nothing really felt like it changed when COVID hit. But yeah, we really, I mean, there were times where like it was just you, me, and Norm for like 4 months.
Yeah.
And like we didn't see or talk to anybody else.
Yeah.
And we were also trying to successfully navigate how to like handle COVID and businesses and like make sure clients were happy and treated fairly, and also make sure that we were getting paid. And it was just, I mean, there was a lot of stuff that we
There's a lot of stressful things to juggle, but at the end of the day, I think we kind of thrived in that situation, and we got really close.
We turned up.
I think, that was a really cool
Isn't that
experience.
when Bread and Honey was born?
August 1st
August
of 2020.
1st, yeah.
Let's talk about that more. Bread
Yeah.
and Honey is your business
Go ahead,
consultation
Queen Bee.
business.
Let's go.
Business consultation business.
Business
Yes.
consultation
Yes.
Yes.
So that started because Ben.
Explain to them what that is.
Okay, so Bread and Honey is like our coaching business where we help other entrepreneurs with pretty much anything business related. We definitely kind of gear more towards wedding vendors because that's just like our field, but we have a handful of other companies and stuff like that, are just kind of random stuff. And it's really cool. And it started because Ben was getting a lot of DMs and emails from other photographers or other wedding vendors, like, hey, can you help me with this? Like, I see you're doing so well. So then he started like a little mentor thing on the side of under Ben Ramos Photography, and it was on the website and everything. And we were like, okay, I think it's time to.
Well, pretty much what started happening was like people were asking me about the stuff that I hired her to do.
That's right.
All the stuff that she was like taking care of, like, what should I have on my website? How do I set up a CRM? I was like, I don't know. I don't do nothing like that. I don't do anything. So I was like, well, I feel like we should tag team this and make it its own separate thing, because, my wedding clients, not that they don't support me, they love me no matter what, but I'm like, they don't give a rat's behind about my coaching stuff.
Yeah.
Unless they're
Especially because we were at the moment
we
we were trying to really gear towards luxury market weddings and stuff, and like it just seemed really janky to have that on the website. So we're like, time to just brand it separately. We were getting a lot of traction on it already, so we just pulled the trigger and created that brand and company, and it's been going really well.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. We have like 23
or 24
coaching clients actively.
Yeah.
That we like check in with.
Yeah.
So when they sign on with us, they have us they have our time. They can pick from anywhere from a session once a quarter all the way up to once every 2 weeks, depending on like what their budget is and how much help they need and what they're looking for and stuff.
So you just customize each plan for everybody.
Very much so. Very much
Most
so.
people are booking us for like once a month check-ins, but
Yeah.
the way we kind of structure it is like, when you sign up, you're in a subscription, but then as we like have our first call to kind of like get a plan of attack going, we kind of like shifted a little bit, and it's like, hey, listen, like if you want to knock out your first 4 sessions in the first month, we're not going to stop you.
Because like people were like in off season and they were like, okay, well, I want to learn X, Y, and Z because I have the time to put my energy and like fix those things in my business or change those things in my business. So we do like, we really try to make it flexible for everybody. And kind of like you said, we really, really try to hone in on exactly what their needs are. And we never pretend like we know something we don't. We never try to pull things out of our butt or anything like that. Like we're always, super cognizant of that. And it's really cool. It's really cool to learn how people's different ways of learning are and trying to cater to that. And even we also do smaller sessions. So we do like we call them mentor sessions, which is just kind of like a one-stop shop. You can get us for an hour all the way up to 6 hours, but like in one sitting. And those are good for people who are great at implementing things on their own. And so that's where they can just bombard us with anything and everything. We can talk about everything. And even in then, like just trying to like in that short time period, like, okay, how do I explain this to this person so that they resonate with it and it's relevant for them. And then we also have our samplers, which is 3 specific topics, and those are like a quick 45-minute call, and it gives people the opportunity to get like a taste, that's why we call it a sampler, of what we do and stuff like that. So we have our website critique. You get 45 minutes with just me, and we just sit down and just dive through everything as much as we can in 45 minutes. A budgeting one, which is also with me, and then pricing revamp, which is definitely our most popular with Ben, where he has an actual algorithm and what's the word? Formula to figure out exactly how you should be pricing yourself. So people really resonate with that one a lot. We get a lot of traction on that.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I'm obsessed with names for businesses and just all the things. Where did Bread and Honey come from?
Funny you ask. I'd love to tell you. So I remember at the time we were trying to figure out we should call this, because we knew we
was
didn't
so
want it to be
hard.
like Ben and Emily coaching.
Or
like,
I don't even know.
or Ben and M education, Ben and M ed. Like, you know, it's like, what is going on? No.
Yeah, it was really
Ed
hard.
Co. Yeah,
I
no.
think it took us like 2 months.
Yeah,
maybe.
it took us a good long while.
Yeah.
And so one night before bed, you know, because ideally, like, we're doing this to help people, but at the end of the day, we want people to make more money.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, I had this like random thought. I'm like, yo, why do rappers in their lines, when they drop a line, why do they call money bread? Like, hey, yo, I'm gonna get that bread.
Mm-hmm.
And so I Googled it, and it turns out in like the 17th century in England, it was like a rhyming slang for money was bread and honey.
Really?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was like a cute little like rhyme thing back in England in like the 1700s.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, that's a no-brainer. Bread
Yeah.
and honey.
There we
Get
go.
that money.
And as soon as you said it, I just ran with it. I had like all the ideas and just totally killed it. And you shot our wonderful photos,
Yeah,
which we
and our
need to
living
do
room.
another one soon.
Yeah, we do.
And then we had our dear friend Wes, you know, shoot all of like the more product-y type photos and stuff like that for the website. So yeah, it was so fun.
It was fun to brand for sure.
It was
and it was
so
like
cool.
so loud, and it very much like, it's very casual to say. It feels casual, and that's
Yeah.
kind of who we are. You know,
And
we're
then
not.
how did we come up with our catchphrase? Did we come up with it or did Daniel Newman come up with it? Daniel Newman, shout out to Daniel Newman. He does all of our branding. He's
Yes.
amazing.
Wait,
Yes.
Daniel Newman, like
Like in Lincoln, Nebraska.
no, wait, he did
Wait.
my branding.
No.
Oh, cool.
Wait, how do you guys know Daniel?
I lived in Lincoln with him.
No way.
Yeah. Like, it's like super long hair. Like, yeah. Dude, yeah. That's my.
Oh, Daniel, shout out to you, man.
Daniel,
oh my
hey,
God.
pal.
Love you,
What the
Daniel.
heck?
Dude, yeah, the logo I still have for my photo company, like the Ben Ramos
Yes.
photography, he made that. That was like one of his first like bangers.
Yeah.
Let's
No
go.
way.
Yeah.
Wait,
And
that's
when
incredible.
we did like we tried to separate our photo booth company at one point, and he did all the branding for that, and
Yeah.
he killed it.
Absolutely killer.
yeah.
But he did all our bread and honey stuff. Like he
Yeah.
hand drew everything. Yeah.
That's incredible.
If you look on our website, any drawings and
Yeah.
like little cutesy phrases and stuff, it's all him.
Yeah. But he made some cool ones. He's like,
You deserve butter.
you deserve butter. Oh, that's so good.
So our main one is we
We give you the ingredients,
Ingredients.
you make the bread.
yeah. So kind of just implying that we are just there to provide you with information. You can do with it what you will.
Yeah.
We will try and figure out what's working for you and what doesn't. Like you know, but it's up to you. Like you're gonna make the bread. You're gonna put in the hard work at the end of the day. So
Yep.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, it was cool. So it's been
what just happened.
I can't either.
that's pretty wild.
amazing.
That is wild.
Shout out Daniel.
Yeah, Daniel
Yeah,
Newman,
Daniel-
we freaking love you, buddy. His logos are so good.
Yeah,
His
hire
brand
him,
wording-
hire him, hire
hire Daniel Newman.
He's the best.
Everybody.
Super sweet, so talented.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Amazing.
Yeah. Punctual. Love that.
Yeah, he's very reliable.
Just sitting here like you guys have a connection with Steven, but you two didn't with each other.
Yeah, right. Oh my god.
Holy cow, that's pretty wild.
Wow,
That's real
yeah.
life. That is Instagram life.
Yeah.
That's
in
wild.
the 2010s.
Seriously.
Seriously.
That's so wild.
Yeah. Damn. So yeah, that's that. That's bread and honey.
Love that.
Don't mind our ambulance coming by. We're shooting in the studio today.
Sounds like a perfect time to hear from our sponsor.
This episode of Rally Caps is brought to you by MusicBed, our favorite source for music licensing. You know, it's pretty surreal to partner with one of our favorite companies for Rally Caps. We've used their music for years and years on wedding films, on commercials, YouTube videos on my personal channel, and now we're even using their music for Rally Caps and Extra Innings on our Patreon. From the inception of an idea all the way to pressing publish, MusicBed plays an integral role in our entire creative process by providing amazing music to elevate all of our projects with.
One of our favorite parts of MusicBed is how easy it is to use. Even with over 900 leading composers, bands, and singer-songwriters, it's so simple to navigate the site and find the perfect song for your project. You can search with specific attributes in mind, like the tempo, style, or instrument used, or even search specific keywords like cinematic, folk, or dope podcast intro. Well, maybe not the last one, but you get the point. Sometimes we just listen to the music on MusicBed for fun because it's that good.
And if you're a music nerd, you can search songs by key and match songs across too if you'd like to mix and match. You can start a free account on MusicBed and browse all the same music we love to find what suits you best. When you're ready to start a subscription, use the code ALLCAPS RALLYCAPS at checkout to receive your first month free when you purchase an annual subscription. Start unlocking the full potential of your work.
Thanks again to MusicBed for sponsoring this episode of Rally Caps. Now, back to the show.
Okay, we like we went deep into like business and stuff. Let's reel it back a little bit into BRP, Ben Ramos Photography. We got sort of the beginning story of you coming on and all that. But I think what people are going to be really stoked about to hear, what they've already heard, is hearing kind of like, oh, how do I diversify once I have an established business? And that's like clearly with Bread and Honey, with Hype Booth as well, which is your photo booth. Are you still running that as well? Mm-hmm. So like you have multiple things kind of going on. Now you want to get into real estate.
Yes.
Yeah. But like, what did it look like to take that first step of diversification with associates, and like, what did that whole thing look like?
I'll tell you what it looked like. It looked like I was too good enough at my job that I was bored. So I was like, how can I make it a little bit harder? Or like, how can I make it more fun? Or like, if for me, like I play it with, when I run business, I like have like a game with myself. Like, okay, like this is what I did this year. I got to do this much next year, or the next month. I mean, I have not had a year where I didn't make more than the year before. Like, I just can't. I have to do better.
Yeah, Ben's the epitome of his only competition is himself.
Yeah. And so for me, I was just like, okay, like I'm shooting 35 to 40 weddings a year. Got that on lock. I can keep up with it. I can keep up with the clientele. And I'm turning away probably like 150 to 200 weddings a year because I'm either booked or just like, price point wasn't there or whatever the case may be. And so I'm like, okay, like, how do we fix this? Like, oh, they need options. So associates, Q associates. I brought on Erin Bean. And
at the same time you brought me.
I literally brought her, and I called, and I was like, okay, so
and like 2 days later, that's when I met Erin Bean for the first time. And we sat down and we're like, hi, we're going to hire you.
And he's like, okay. He's like, great, where do I sign? And I'm like, all right, Bean, sounds good. So yeah, him and Wes were my first two associates. And then I was also at the time still kind of in the transitional phase of moving over from Nebraska. So I started my business at University of Nebraska. And so I still had some clients that were reaching out to us there, and to cater to them, I also had a couple Nebraska associates I had. And so like I was just like, kind of just like pitching it. I was like, hey, like, if I can't personally be there, like I have an associate that can step in, they'll do all the photo stuff, and then I'll do all the editing. That way it's still consistent. Like your final product will still look in line with what you see on my website, what you see on my Instagram, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And, I think because I worked so hard at building brand trust and like being so transparent with my clients and, going above and beyond and making sure that they were taken care of in whatever capacity that is and whatever situation, like they trusted me. They're like, yeah.
I think something about you too is that you kind of have no fear. Like a lot of our coaching clients, they're like, I want to do this thing, but I don't want to start like marketing it yet because I'm not like 100% there. I don't have like all my ducks in a row. And at the end of the day, what has been the most successful is you just dive into it. You just start, because at the end of the day, if it doesn't work out, most people aren't going to notice. No offense, but you're not the main character of the world. So most people aren't going to notice that it didn't work out. You can just kind of, if you wanted to, slip it under the rug or be transparent, whatever you want to do. Like, so Ben just has like this no fear thing where he's just like, hey, so, and like I'll see things pop up on the Instagram. I'm like, we didn't talk about that. What are you doing? And so he'll freak me out sometimes. But he just like goes for it. So he has this no fear thing of just like, I don't even think you think it won't be successful. I don't even think that crosses your mind when you put things
like,
out there.
When is it going to happen?
Yeah.
Kind of more so, like, yeah, it's so much of business success's mindset.
Yeah. Speak it into existence.
Yes. Like put it out there. Just be like, okay, what would that look like? What would that feel like? What would that taste like? Literally, what would that taste like to make that happen? And I know that sounds kind of weird, but
no, like it's that whole manifesting thing is like putting yourself in a position where it's already happened. Yeah. And you feel that, and then that's how that manifestation starts.
Yeah. You just start feeling it and doing like, okay, what isn't true right now that has to be true tomorrow for that to happen?
Yeah.
And start working on it and start getting after it.
Yeah.
So associates started in 2018 was like, I think the first weekend where I was at a wedding in Nebraska in Omaha. And I had Wes and Bean shooting a wedding for me. Wes was shooting photo, Bean was shooting video. Okay. And I was like,
this is crazy.
We did it. And so, yeah, I mean, pretty much like long story long, it just kind of to the point where, because now that I had reached other people that I couldn't personally be connected with, but my brand was still connected with, more inquiries started coming in. More people were like, hey, we saw that you did the photos for so-and-so. I was like, I didn't do that. He did that. But like, it's like people are starting to hit us up and stuff. And so I just had to keep going, keep moving on, because I was like getting an inquiry and like all 4 of us were booked.
People were pretty skeptical at first bringing on associates. You know, you kind of have to like over-explain it and oversell a little
and people
bit.
were scared. They're like, I remember I posted it. I had probably about like 4 or 5 DMs from like clients being like, so you're still shooting my wedding, right? I'm like, yeah, dude. Like, you signed the contract with me. Like, you know, and that's what's cool about my associate program is like, I signed the contract as the owner. The associate signs the contract so that they... the client knows that like that person is going to be there.
The
you know what I mean? Like they're not
photographer,
just going to get some schmuck that I just like, oh yeah, go ahead. Like you got an associate. Like this person fits in that tier, so they'll just come show up. Like I want all my couples to still get a personalized experience. So that's kind of why I've taken the time now to build this team where we have lots of different personalities and we have somewhat different styles. I mean, I think we're all pretty much in line with each other.
Yeah, I mean, that's how we hired them.
Yeah, we originally we looked for people at first that like had very, very similar shooting styles. But then, you know, then even though we shoot similarly, like our personalities weren't all the same. We can't all be Ben. We can't all be Bean. Definitely can't all be Bean. We can't all be Wes. We can't all be, you know, Michaela, Marqueta. Like we couldn't. We were able to kind of bring our own touch of everything, which then in turn opened up the door to even more people that, you know, weren't just coming to me for me anymore. They saw the quality of the work. They saw the quality of, you know, the final photos, but then they could get their own personalized experience. Be like, hey, if you want someone that's like more low key, more chill, more fly on the wall vibes, hire Wes. If you want someone that's going to like party your pants off, call Bean. You know, you know, people were able to kind of, you know, get a great experience no matter who they were working with.
It's really cool seeing how the brand trust is there now, where people just inquire and they're just like, I'm happy with whoever, or no, I want to be with that associate. So it's cool because at the beginning it was not that at all. Everyone still wanted to work with Ben because you were the brand. Yeah.
And we also started like pitching it different too. Like I kind of actually had a really great conversation with Carrie Carlquist. Hey, Carrie. And she came over one night. We were playing games at our kitchen. I had taco night with Bean, and she was like, you know, maybe you should pitch it this way. And it, like my mind like exploded. It's such a simple shift, but pretty much before, when people inquired, I just assumed that they wanted to work with me, which that sounds kind of cocky. I don't know, but like they come to Ben Ramos Photography to work with Ben Ramos, of course. And so I would answer the email if I wasn't available. I'd be like, hey guys, like unfortunately I'm not available. So already starting off the jump with like a negative like tone in my email, but you can work with my associate. Yeah. Shitty. Now, no matter if I'm available or not, I ask the whole team anytime we get an inquiry, and I lay out, I'm like, yo, we are available. Here are your options. And even like if they say their budget is like, let's say 4,000, and I'll even tell them that I'm available and what I charge, and you know, believe it or not, people will spend more than their budget. Go figure. And sometimes they say they want to work with an associate, but then they end up booking a senior associate or, you know, something along those lines. And it's been really the turnover has gone up significantly because I've presented them with, hi, sorry, I'm not available, to, yo, we are available, we got you. Take your pick from the platter.
Stealing that. Sorry.
No, by all means, everyone steal it. It's definitely the way to market your
100%.
associates.
Yeah, please do. Because like, I mean, if I hadn't had that conversation with Carrie, like I don't know if, I mean, I think I would have shifted it by now, but that really opened my eyes and be like, damn, like
you're right.
We're turning a lot of people away, or people are really turned off because I'm coming at them with like a, sorry.
Unfortunately.
Like, shoot. Oh, shucks. Sorry. You know.
Yeah, here's the backup.
Yeah, like, you know, they like it was, and I would never ever say that like I am better than my team, because I have incredible people on my team, but like I kind of presented it that way. Not intentionally, but just kind of like it came off like, hi, I'm not available, but I guess you can work on this. I was, and I never, you know, I didn't realize I was doing it until I had that conversation.
I think we kind of had to do that at first because there were people inquiring, like freaking out about it. And like, no, I only want to work with Ben. I've been waiting so long. So yeah, I think that conversation with Carrie happened at a great time because we were at a turning point with the associate program.
Yeah.
So.
No, it's great. I mean, people can see all the different tiers of pricing.
Yeah.
It's very basic, like baseline stuff. I don't give like all the packages and stuff yet, but more so just like, this is like the collection range for this photographer. Most people are spending about this with them. You know, here's a link to their portfolio. And it's like, they can see that exact photographer. They know exactly what that photographer is going to pay or what they're going to pay for that photographer.
For sure.
And it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's worked out great.
First off, shout out Carrie.
Yeah,
Garlic
Carrie.
Rap Season 1 alumni.
Heyo, yeah, that episode
the
was
best.
fire.
Isn't it alumnus if it's one person?
We don't know.
I don't
I
know.
didn't graduate
Alum.
college. I don't know.
It's an alum. Yeah, that's a fun question to
Big
answer
jerk.
right now.
Let me just correct you on this podcast.
I really liked what you touched on when you were talking just now about turning the brand from something so personal and individual focused to more of like a group of people,
Yes.
like a business.
Totally.
What were some practical things that the two of you did to kind of change that perception? Were there things on social media that you did? Were there things on your website that you did to
Yeah.
just kind of change that perception?
I mean, honestly, just the language, like it's not me anymore.
It's all we.
It's all we. It's from, in the words of Dave Ramsey, it's French. Oui. He says that all the time. But anyways, just switching it to like, I mean, automatically from the jump, like right when I got more people, I like made this. It wasn't that it was fake, but I really put out there like, we are a unit. It's a team. Like it's us. Like thanks for inquiring with us. And people were into it. People were like, yo, check you out with that team, dog.
Yeah.
Let's go. And like,
And we also try to
actually.
actually be a team. Like we try to hang out with our team and like
Yeah.
do things with
Something else to
them and
bring
do
up.
our photo shoots together every year and everything. So
Yeah.
we try to make it really inclusive. I think on social media, a lot of it too was, especially in the beginning, like before we really even were ready to like properly, I guess, present the associates. Like they weren't on the website or anything, but we were immediately on social media like, hey, this is what's happening and these are the people, like, and you can look forward to X, Y, and Z. So that, and then putting it out on the website, changing things like Ben said from me to we and us and all that kind of good stuff, and making sure that the whole website was not just Ben and his work, it was everyone and all their work. So
just wanted to be like a brand, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's say like Nike. Like Nike is not just running.
Yeah.
It's not just baseball. It's everything.
all without also changing our name.
Right. Because
Yeah.
like, I
We
worked so
thought
hard
about
to
it.
like build. Yeah, we thought about just switching to like Ramos photo
Yeah.
or something.
But-
which like still has me in it, but like,
Yeah.
it's not Ben Ramos. It's just Ramos. It could be anybody.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been really fun.
Yeah.
It's been really fun. It's been chaos at times, but most of the time it's been really great. And I've brought on some really incredible people.
Yeah, we're so
that,
grateful.
and we do like an annual retreat where we kind of like spend the day together at my house or at our house. Sorry.
We.
Sorry. We have everybody at the house, and we like will get breakfast for everybody, and we'll spend like the first like 3 hours together, just like last year's review, kind of like, all right, this is how many weddings we shot. This person did this many. This person did this many. This is where this person was great. This where this person needs to like get their S together. That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And but then like we also can kind of implement like, okay, like this as a team, like this is what has worked, and this
And
what
people can give
hasn't.
us like feedback,
Like,
like this
what can
didn't
we
work
do
for
better
me.
to
Like
serve
we
you?
need to make this like cleaner. We need to like have better communication with this, or it's really cool to like really everyone just be there and talk about it.
Have
And-
enough humility to receive that as well, not just be
Yeah.
like, I'm the boss.
Yeah, that's not my vibe. Not my vibe. I
Yeah.
have a really hard time like telling people what to do.
Same.
And which is like, it could be a blessing and a curse. I definitely need to like lay it down sometimes, but no one's ever really doing anything that's like out of line, So
we're really grateful for the people we've worked
yeah,
with.
because I mean, it's kind of like a win-win-win for everybody.
It's
It's
a Michael
like,
Scott quote right there.
yeah, it's like I get income off a wedding that I'm not personally at, and then the associate gets income from a wedding that they get to just go shoot and get the experience and use for portfolio in the future, and then they don't have to edit,
which takes up even more time.
And then we're just able to serve
Yeah.
as many people as possible, and it's incredible.
Yeah.
It's really, and like that's the other thing too, is like for the associate program, we really don't force anybody, like they're not just contracted to us, you know. They all have their own individual businesses, and they never have to tell me why they deny a date. So if I put a date out there and so pretty much I have a group text with everybody. I'll throw it in there. I'll be like, yo, who's available May 27th, 2022 in Chicago? And they can like it if they're available, or / like want to be pitched, or they can dislike it if for whatever reason they don't want to. Either they're booked, they got a personal thing, it's like their anniversary, they just don't want to that weekend. Like no one ever has to justify to me like why they say no.
Yeah.
That way, like, you know, because I don't ever want to force somebody to do something they're not trying to do. I want everyone to feel comfortable with the workload they take on, because at the end of the day, they're all running their own stuff too. Aside from this is kind of just like the whipped cream and cherry on top for them and for me. It's been great. So yeah, we're just trying to like cultivate this community within ourselves, if you will, to just continue to serve at like a really, really powerful level, and to, you know, reach as many people as we possibly can. And, you know, everyone's kind of knows their place, and we're all just kind of like working swimmingly, and it's good.
Ebbing and flowing.
Ebbing and flowing.
So one of the biggest reasons we started Rally Caps is not just to exclusively talk about entrepreneurship and all of the informational things and, you know, logistical things when it comes to business, but rather like obviously all those things are good. We love talking about them. We get hyped on them. But the sustainability of it all as well, you know, with the tagline being building a business for the long haul. The original name of the podcast, which was another podcast name, was Slow Burn.
Slow Burn.
Like making it happen like slowly over time.
Sure.
And while there are people like you, or I'm sure plenty of people are listening, are like, I can never work at that pace.
Sure.
Yeah.
Even your personalities and your tenacity, it's still been a slow burn over time, right?
100%.
It's still been
year
slow
8
growth.
next year.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And it's just like, and what you're saying is every single year you're just growing on top of that.
And you don't even realize it until it's already passed, and then you look back and you're like,
Whoa.
holy
But
moly.
you've also built systems. Clearly, you've touched on those things. You know, you built systems. You have people. You have accountability. You have all these things.
Right.
But also being a personal friend of you guys as well. It's like you're definitely feeling probably more stress now than you ever have when
100%.
it comes to business.
Oh yeah.
So what does that look like for you? Just kind of, and we can kind of wrap the convo up here. Just like, yeah, what does it look like to move into the next season? Do you feel like what you're doing now is sustainable or could be more sustainable for you, especially as if you want to start transitioning more into real estate, that kind of stuff?
Yeah,
what do you
do
see
your thing.
for like the next 5 to 10 years?
Cool.
That's something we both are always looking. We're always looking at the future, but in different ways. And so I definitely knew Ben had been wanting to do real estate for about like 2 years now. And so that was a thought a long time ago at this point. And so I immediately just went into, how do we make this happen? And so for 2 years, we've been trying to figure out how to make it happen. And we look at long term. And, you know, my vision, and I think it's also your vision too, for Ben Ramos Photography is actually coming to fruition next year, which is so crazy to think about because we've been talking about this for so long, of Ben really taking a step back, doing more quality over quantity, as far as just, you know, bumping up his prices so that he can still sustain some type of income for himself and his work through photography, and then really having our associates and our team really stepping up and doing a lot of the work for us. And we have people we really trust, and we worked really hard to find those people that we really trust. And I'm in a position now where I can do a lot more of the background stuff, and Ben doesn't have to worry about it. And he also doesn't have to worry about editing anymore because we now have an editor we really, really trust.
Huge.
And so it's just so crazy how it's come to fruition, because, you know, I'm just thinking about that time
Like
we were in Colorado driving around, and I was like, Ben, this is what I want for the company. And I laid out exactly how I think the company will sustain itself. And now we're here.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
It's pretty crazy.
I'm trying to think of, just really, I think to put like, I guess like, I don't know what I'm trying to say. Brain fart.
All good.
So pretty much like, this next year, like I normally shoot like 35 to 40 in an average year. I'm shooting like 7 right now next year. But like each booking is like almost double what I normally get paid.
Yep.
And not all of them are here, but like associates like have like 80% of the bookings next year, which is incredible.
Which was our goal.
And that was our goal. So that now I can like go to open houses on the weekends. And I can just go walk my dogs in the dog park on a Saturday.
Live a normal life.
Live a normal life.
Yep.
I think that we'll always, I don't know about always, but I think over the next 5 years, I would say we'll still have this company.
It's my plan at least.
It's honestly, it's on autopilot.
It's already built.
It's already built. It brings in the most income for our family right now. And we have over the past 2 years have like trial and errored a lot of different aspects of it to get it to what it's about to be. And we about to pop off. Look out. Look out. It's going to feel really good. Just knowing that like we have a really solid, editing team that's going to be working on stuff. We have the incredible associates that are going to be taking on most of the work. Your boys over here on the sales and like client communication,
which you love doing.
I love doing that. That's like anytime like
so many people
I know,
Yeah,
which
I know.
blows my mind, but I love it so much. Because I could literally just wake up at 6 a.m. and be on the computer till 6 p.m. just like doing emails and hitting up people and calling them.
You have a superpower, Ben.
I will literally do it for you guys.
You're hired.
Got it.
You are.
But like what it's cool about it is, now I'm kind of moving into this season of kind of really just leaning into like what I really love to do. And that's just to be around people, to help people. And I can do it in 2 ways now. I can do it with photo, help them capture their wedding days and stuff. And now I can help them find a house too, which is really cool.
Yeah, I think what's really cool in hearing a lot of people in this, being in this season of life, like a lot of our peers are kind of in this season of, okay, it's a handful of years that I've owned my creative business.
Yeah.
I'm feeling a bit burnt out by it in these certain amount of ways.
Yeah.
And now they're stuck in this position of, do I keep doing it? And this is just the truth of what in
Yeah.
photography and filmmaking.
100%.
Like there's it tends to be like a 10-year window for a lot of people. And they're stuck with this reality of, do I just completely stop it and burn completely out and start something totally new? Or do I keep doing it at the capacity I am and feel miserable doing it?
Sure.
And I want people to know that that doesn't have to be the reality.
Nope.
And basically what I was touching on earlier is like, why abandon that business if it's already built?
Right.
Like
I've literally worked
Marketing.
my whole adult life, dropped out of college so that I could have this.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, instead of just saying, I'm done with that.
Right.
What can you do to sustain it, still provide probably the same amount of income, if not more, with doing less work in it?
Right.
I think the first step is putting yourself out there and putting yourself in a room full of other people that are going to inspire you. Because at the end of the day, especially coming off of the year we just had of being isolated and alone, you lose that momentum, you lose that magic of owning your business and the creativity behind it. And I think, especially with the clients we've had with coaching and stuff like that, there's a lot of people in exactly what you said, just like asking us like, I think I'm ready to just stop. And so while that's fine, and like we will always respect anyone's choices with that and stuff like that, and we're never going to try and like push someone to do something they don't want to do, but we also kind of like, okay, let's take a breather. Let's like readjust. Like, let's not even talk about like putting systems into place at this moment or anything. Like, let's just talk about getting yourself re-inspired. So I think getting yourself in a room full of people who are going to light that for you and putting yourself out there, even if you don't feel like doing it and you really do want to give up on your company, just do it at least once. Go to a networking event, go to a workshop, do something where you're going to be physically in the room with people. And then from there, find people that you really, truly trust. Don't just trust someone because they're nice to you for the first couple of months. Like, really find someone that's going to help you with your business in whatever capacity you need them to help you with your business. And then start implementing new systems and processes and all that kind of stuff. And I think that's the way to do it.
Well said.
Thank
Girl.
you. Thank
Bars.
you.
Go. Yeah, I have to before.
I got to do
I
it for
can't
you.
hear
Yes. Thank you.
I was like,
Thank you.
Well, if any of our viewers or listeners are as smitten with these two as we are right now, where can all of them find you? Drop handles, drop websites, give it to us.
All right. So for Ben Ramos Photography, benramosphotos.com. Instagram is at I am Ben Ramos.
Yep. And then for Bread and Honey, it's breadandhoneyco.com. And then Instagram is at breadandhoneyco.
Yeah, buddy.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Ba-boom.
Ba-boom.
Thank you all so much for watching and listening.
Hey.
We appreciate you. If you were on Apple Podcasts while you're listening to this, please leave us a rating and review to push the show to more people. And if you're on YouTube watching our goofy faces right now, leave us a like, subscribe, leave a comment down below, and tell us what you loved most about our conversation with Emily and Ben today.
Love y'all.
Hey, love ya.
Thanks for being here, guys.
Hey, thanks
Thank
for
you.
having us.
Of course.